Hi, this is Victoria, and today I am making this video because I have come to a strong understanding that I want to share with others that are narcissism abuse victims, especially by friends or lovers, because especially by people that were not in your family. I want to share this experience and I want to share this knowledge with you so that you can equip yourself against this. Okay? So I today came to this understanding by the grace of God. I came to this understanding as I was thinking about my problem. And the problem that I was having the problem that I have been having was that there was a block that I was just completely not willing to let go. And not like an unforgiveness, more like something that I had given that I felt something I had given. And it was a block. And maybe not even something that I had given, but there was just this tie to this person that I was unwilling to let go because I had believed everything, and even knowing I have all this narcissistic education or narcissism awareness that I've been learning about narcissism for 4 years. So I have a good amount of understanding, about these people. And it's so amazing that these people start so young. It's so amazing that these people, they are very young, tricking other people, very young, being evil, like having these evil attributes. They start out so young. And I will always think to myself, it's not possible because this was a girl and women can't be like that. That's what I thought. Maybe it's because I'm a woman. Maybe because I put that type of evil past women. Maybe it's because I grew up with a lot of sisters and I just had this affection or affinity towards women because I had so many sisters that I loved. Or I felt she can't do that because she's so young. She was a teenager. Don't let it get past you. Don't let it get past you. The devil operates through many people, and it's crazy. It's just amazing how young you can be deceiving people, how young you can start off doing that. But there are things that constitute a life like that I had not experienced. And maybe in this person that I'm referring to, this girl, she experienced a wicked life of people that didn't take care of her and do what she needed. So maybe I don't know. I'm trying not to think about it that way. But this is the epiphany. Excuse me. So this is the epiphany. Lord, please help me to understand and relay this message to these people, to anyone who wants to hear it, understand. In Jesus' name. So, what I understood this morning as I journaled was that I did not want to get past, I was struggling to get past something because in my mind, because I was not realizing that in my mind, or I thought that, let's say that instead of in my mind, I thought that all these years I realized that she was tricking me because I had a best friend. I had a friend that came into my life that I thought loved me, that I thought cared about me. And when I realized that this person was using me, I thought in my mind, I thought that she was only this was only happening for a certain amount of time, and it wasn't the entire time. And that was what was keeping me in bondage. That was what was keeping me bound. The belief that it was not the entire time. Like, even though I told myself it was the entire time, I didn't believe it. And there were thoughts in the back of my heart that were telling me that I didn't believe it, that I would block. I was like, kind of like holding in myself, like, she didn't do it from this time to this time. Like, this time was sincere. So this is what I thought was sincere. So this is what happened. I was journaling about it, and I was saying, like, this person gave me the attention that I was looking for. Like, when this person came into my life, we all know about love bombing, but let me just put it in a different way. This person gave me the attention that I was looking for. This person made me feel so seen that it was like dopamine. This person made me feel so alive with their attention. This person made me feel I didn't need anybody else in this whole wide world because I had her. And this person, and she cared about what I said. She cared about how I felt. She cared about what I saw. She cared about what I thought. And she put me first. And in my mind, in the epiphany that I understood, or the understanding I've come to, is that from that amount of attention, that amount of attentiveness from someone is a drug. She gave me that amount of attention, that amount of attentiveness from a person to another person. I thought she was my savior. Like, I thought she was my God sent sister. I thought she had seen me the way no one else on this earth has seen me. And the reason why she was looking that hard was so that she could become me. And we all thought that these people were looking at us and seeing us. We thought these people were looking at us because of us. Because of us. Because of us. And she let me think that. Because it wasn't because of me. It wasn't because of me. Even though I felt I deserved it, and I finally was getting it. And the reason why I felt like that, I don't want to think that it was just pride. I want to know that it was because I had been seeking to be seen in that way from my parents for so many years. Because even though so many of us had on the outside such loving looking parents, and it may have seemed loving, even these people ignored us so much. Many of us were completely ignored by our parents. When I was little, I remember one day I was under the age of 10. I was in a fight with my mother, I think. And when she walked away, I said, "Nobody loves me," so loud. I screamed it. And she didn't come back to correct me. She did not come back to correct me. She didn't tell me, "Your father loves you, I love you." No, she left. I knew it. And I didn't say that as a question. I said that it was a fact. I knew nobody loved me. I knew nobody loved me. Just because it may have seemed like somebody loved me, and I was taken care of as a child very well, you know, but my parents ignored me as a person. I was ignored. The most attention I got was a whooping, okay? My mother didn't give me that type of attention, and when I grew up, my mother would sit on the phone with my sister whenever were spending quality time together. She would purposely dial up my sister, and it would hurt me so much. And I would ask her to stop, and she just, every time for years, she would just continue to do this. And it took me this year, so many years later, to realize she was doing that on purpose, to make me feel unseen, unworthy of her time. She would literally call my sister and be on the phone with her, like, while we were together. That's what she would do. During our one-on-one quality time, she would call someone else and be on the phone with them the entire time. And I would beg her to get off, and she wouldn't. So I felt completely scared about that I wasn't not important. I didn't matter. Like, maybe I didn't feel like that, but I just felt like so invisible. I felt invisible. And what I wrote was that this narcissistic girl, gave this invisible girl inside of me everything. She gave her the world. This narcissistic girl gave me the feeling that I was alive. You know, like, she made me feel seen, like, heard, like I existed, like I mattered in the world. That's how she made me feel. That is how she made me feel. She gave me everything. Everything. She was my air. Okay? Like, the attention, that amount of attention that she gave me, the attentiveness, the care to my thoughts and feelings, the agreeing with what I said, made me feel so alive, so seen, that what I came to realize was that I was willing to give anything. And I was so hard on myself for so many years. Like, why would you give that to her? Why would you do this? Why would you? But today, like, why would it's obvious. It's obvious. It's not a wonder anymore. Why would you do that? Why did I give that? Why would I think that was okay? I was literally, she had me on drugs. I was drugged up. I was not thinking straight. I was on dopamine. I was on, I don't know all the brain drugs that are released, but I was on those brain drugs, because the amount of attention that she gave me just made me feel so seen and heard and dealt with and felt. I've never felt that in my life. Never. From anyone. My dad didn't make me feel seen. My dad made me feel more seen than my mom. But I don't talk to either one of them today. You know why? Because at the end of it, I found out that neither one of them really cared about me. My dad made me feel more seen than my mother did. I didn't feel seen by either one of them. I didn't feel cared about. My mother, when I was growing up, never told me she loved me. Never. And the only reason my family the people that were my family, those that were my family, say I love you today is because I'm a Christian and I wanted to change things in my life and in my family because that's the job of the Holy Spirit and of God. And I started to tell people in my family that I love them. By the grace of God, through the power of God, I changed that in my family. But before, we would never say that. Never. I did not hear I love you growing up. I didn't know I was loved. The first time I heard someone saying I love you was from a family that seemed so broken to me. Another family, different from mine, saying I love you. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you guys have nothing. Because we had so much growing up, but I wasn't seen and I was not loved, even though I was taken care of. That's very common for many children that come up in these narcissistic homes. They're well cared for. They're well cared for. They have what they need. It looks great on the outside because that benefits the parents. That benefits the parents to make it look like their kids are good. That benefits the parents. But on the inside, I felt I was just yearning for love. And when this spider found me, it's in reference to Coraline, and I was just wrap me up, I was just put me on the web. I was drugged up, and that's the realization that that's just what I see. And in the movie Coraline, I really had to correlate between my situation and that movie, because that movie was not just a movie. Like, whoever made that movie, I feel had a very deep understanding of narcissistic abuse, of narcissism. And they did an amazing job of communicating what happens to a victim of one of these narcissists. Because just like me, her mother, that other mother, lured her in with all this beautiful. She was so kind. Her dad was attentive to her. She was listening. The other dad was so attentive. And they do that so that you will give them your soul. And that is the realization that looking at that movie, she was collecting souls. Like, this lady was collecting souls, and I feel that so-called friend, that liar that I had in my life, was doing the same thing, collecting souls, because that's what I gave. That's what I gave. I gave my soul, I gave my soul. And forever I was just questioning myself, why? And at the same time, at the very bottom of the pit I was telling myself why, but I just couldn't hear it. I was telling myself why. I was telling myself that she's seen me so much that I was doped up on being seen. I was doped up because I did not receive that in childhood, and I was willing to give anything for it to stay. And she threatened to leave if I didn't change, if I didn't stop being so bright, if I didn't stop shining so much. She threatened to leave. So experiencing that amount of love and care, and being threatened to be taken away, I was willing to give my soul. I gave my soul at that time. And it's back. Because I was giving it to her that whole time. But I thought she deserved it. She was giving me all that attention so she could get something from it, so she can get something out of it. She was giving me all that attention so that she could see how I moved, because she mimics me today. Many of the things that I had to realize over the years that she was doing were things that she copied from me. Like, tones of voice, ways of saying things, gestures that she copied from me. That's why I felt so seen, because she was trying to collect all the information. That's why I felt so seen. And really now my body is telling me that I felt seen in a negative way. My body is now telling me that that amount of being seen was wrong. That amount of seeingness that she did, she was peering into my soul. Now I don't know how this is possible, but it is. I don't know. I don't know how all this adds up, but it adds up, because it adds up. Now I can see. She was looking at me. I felt that scene because she was following me around everywhere I went, trying to see what I said, who'd I talk to, how'd I do things, how I felt, because she was trying to figure out who to be. She wanted to be me. She decided that she wanted to be me. She decided that she wanted to be me. And she had I was very popular in school, even though at that time I didn't see myself that way. Looking back on it, I was so popular. I was dang near famous, okay? Even though I wasn't popular in the same way, like I had a different type of fame. I had so many guys that liked me. I was the most stylish girl in school. I'm going as far to say I was the prettiest, okay? Like, I really had so much going for me. I had this boyfriend. I had this glamorous looking life. I really did. And I really had this glamorous looking life. Like, on the outside looking in, it just looked probably like tantalizing to this girl. And she was a nobody. And she just came up from nowhere and just started just slowly over time giving me attention that really I wasn't getting anywhere else, even though I was seeking it, even though I was looking for it and trying to have it through, this or that. She gave it to me in the way that I was seeking it, and took everything. So, I just want to share this story, and I just want to share my story, not just for you, but for me, because I want to share my story. This girl took everything from me, okay? She did. And now I realize that she was never my friend. Now I know that she was not my friend. And that amount of being seen is a red flag. That's a red flag. It felt like everything that I was looking for. And that's why I fit. That's why I manifested it. Now, I'm not saying that I manifested it into my life. I'm saying that my response to it manifested that situation, because I don't necessarily believe that you just attract people to your life. I believe that negative people come to everyone, but they don't fit into everyone like a puzzle. And what the manifestation is when your response to them, because they can come to somebody that feels secure in themselves. I'm probably not the first person she did that to. I'm probably, she's probably tried to do that with other people, but they had the love that they needed since childhood, and they got the attention that they wanted, and they didn't feel the need to let somebody in that deep, like I experienced, like there was before in me. They didn't have their parents probably loved them adequately, and they felt seen. But what she found in me was the opportunity to express the best, the most manipulative skills, things, devices, in order to take advantage and get what she wanted. That's what she found in me. She found an outlet for her way of getting things. She found, not that it was positive, because it wasn't. It was dirty. It was sick. She found in me a way to outlet. She found in me her opportunity. She found in me something that worked for her completely, because I gave it all. And because I did not know better. But now I do. It was my response to her that caused this. Because many people think that we manifest people into our lives. I don't believe that. I don't believe that I attract certain people to me. I believe that these people come across everyone and try their tactics with everyone. But what the manifestation is when I respond in a way that keeps them around. That's the manifestation. That's the attraction. Keeping them in my life. So I kept her. I kept her to feel seen. I kept her to feel heard. And I thought it was all for me. I kept her to feel heard, and I thought it wasn't me at all. It was not me at all. At all. It was everything I had. It was everything I had. And she had to go through me to get it. May this release, may that release every tie you have to that person. Thinking that the bondage of thinking, believing that they loved you for you, when it was things they came to get.